Welcome everybody, and a second live stream today. We're going to be looking at the launch of SwitchX on Pulsechain by Brandon. Obviously a big influence on Pulsechain, a big developer, and of course developer of developers or development of projects through Build the Tech. So this is pretty exciting. So I hope you guys enjoy this. It's hot off the press. He only put this out just over 2 hours ago with the official release, and the contracts I think been going, maybe 4 or 5 hours, something like that. So it's going to be fun to talk about. A V4 concentrated liquidity project on Pulsechain. It's got to be good. Got to be good. And we're going to check it all out. We're going to check out the contract. We're going to go through the documents, the white paper, and all that sort of stuff. So a big project on Pulsechain. Very, very cool. So far, of course, Brandon's talked about Switch, which is a DEX aggregator. And of course, people have been able to get massive benefits from that through savings, through Switch. And now we've got SwitchX. And this is exciting, as we say. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm just going to post out the show on X and just on Telegram there. So if you guys are out there, don't forget to hit the repost button if you want to share it around. It is a fairly big project launching on Pulsechain, which is pretty exciting. And it is going to add to our AMM pools, right? So we mainly have Pulsex and 9mm. We obviously have a few others around as well, but this should add some pretty big significance, and it has got its own uniqueness to it, being a V4 concentrated liquidity AMM, which is exciting, right? So very, very cool. Now let me just post this in the socials here, and then we're going to get into reviewing SwitchX, which is live. So hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have already been playing around with it, let us know. Because that would be cool to see. Let's have a look here. A review, I guess we're going to say, and bam. And let's copy this over. And we're just posting this out on a few socials first before we get into it. And yeah, let's go. All right, so cool. What else? I think that's it. Let's see here. Let's go down the bottom and let's close that off. So yeah, let's check the chats there. We've got a few chats. This is a little bit slower than normal. You'll get the itch for some of that Switch, says Leechster. That's pretty funny, man. That's pretty funny. That is true. So don't forget to smash the likes on the way in, subscribe, and we're going to check out all of the launch here for Brandon's SwitchX. So let's go to it without further ado. Let's look at the announcement first. Let's kick it off there. We're gonna slowly go through this, work through this. Let me know if you guys have been playing on already, or you bought some Switch, or whatever you've done. Let me know in the comments there too. And so this is what we got. So obviously it's the 30th birthday of Pulsechain, which I thought was a great day to launch it. So happy birthday, Pulsechain. That's from Brandon. Brandon, of course, one of the largest Pulsechain influencers. He's got 20,000 followers on X. He's streams less than he used to, of course, but he is getting back to streaming. He's setting up a new vlogging studio. We've seen pictures of that, and he obviously is Switch.win. DEX aggregator is operating, and now he's just launched this other big project, SwitchX.5, which is exciting. I think that's exciting, and of course, as I said earlier, is bringing us a V4 AMM pool. So it's going to be pretty cool. I think we got a little bit of a summary here. So Uniswap V4-based concentrated liquidity AMM. It's a V4 pool engine. Liquidity providers will allocate capital to specific price ranges, ticks, for far higher capital efficiency. So that's kind of the big takeout there with the V4 AMM pool. So if you want to get the idea of what's special about it, that is what's special about it. I remember Pulsex is V2, 9mm is V3. Now we've got V4. So kind of cool. Now we've also had Liberty Swap talking about V3, V4s as well. So that's all coming down the line, I guess. And kind of cool. And so, concentrated liquidity means that you can have different types of profiles with your liquidity providing between certain price ranges, things like that. And one side more than the other, all sorts of stuff, sell side, buy side. So then traditional constant product AMMs like V2 Pulsex supports hooks and plugins for advanced features like adaptive fees and MEV protection. So it's kind of cool. And we're going to go through some of the tokenomics of it just briefly, which is going to be pretty exciting. So there we go. SwitchFi is now live. It will behoove you to read the white paper, which we're going to go through as well. But let's play the little video. I'm not going to play the sound because it's got a copyright sound, but we'll play through the video as I talk, which is pretty cool. So that is the video there. I'm going to put it on mute. but that is playing through with the promo video. I'm going to post the link to this in the chat if you guys want to check it out yourself. Leave any comments and so forth. So SwitchX. So, we're having good times with some of these big projects launching on Pulsechain. It's got to be excited about that, that's for sure. All right, bam, there we go. That's the announcement. There's the video that they've launched. Now, some of the highlights there, tokenomics, there's going to be a hard cap, 1 billion Switch tokens, a total supply, but there's only 15 million out at the beginning. So remember that number. There's a billion Switch total supply, but only 15 million out at the beginning on the current contract, which we'll look at later on. There's going to be emissions. The emissions will end permanently. So I guess from 15 million up to 1 billion, less whatever gets burned and things like that. Emissions end permanently after 2.5 years. So there's no perpetual inflation. So I think that's a really good time frame. So well done to Brandon on thinking about that. Governance, the governance is a big deal on this project. Governance is a big deal. There's going to be a vote escrow NFTs, which are called VE NFTs or V NFTs. I'm not sure it's out of the horror sci-fi alien movie V, but it's certainly vote escrow NFTs, so VE NFTs. Maximum lock is 2 years. We're going to look at that. That's could be the most powerful play in the system, so we'll talk about that later. Permanent burn locks give 2x non-decaying voting power. So your voting power is permanent, but they have a permanent lock. So you can have a lock or a permanent lock. The permanent lock is basically burning your Switch tokens. So if you do have Switch tokens and you lock them, you will burn them, but you get a lot of different rewards and voting power for it, and you get 2x the voting power. So remember that 2x numbers are very important there. There's also auto locking of 50 to 90% of farming rewards. Okay, with governance, so auto locking of 50 to 90% of farming rewards. Fee distribution, this is key. Obviously, with the V4 AMM pool, or you're going to have fees. This is the big generator, right? This is the big business. 50% of trading fees will auto buyback Switch. So 50% of trading fees will auto buyback Switch, dripping that to VE NFT holders. So if you're locking or permanently locking your Switch tokens, you will get VE NFTs, and you will be earning 50% of the trading fees on the platform. So we're at the bottom of the market at the moment on Pulsechain, arguably. That could be big to the upside, right? Big to the upside. So we'll talk about that too. Voting pools route through. Let me play that video one more time as I'm playing through here. But voting pools will do that. So pretty cool. Actually, let's just go to the website. So this is the website. SwitchX.fi is now live. So let's go to that. Bam. This is 2 hours ago. This is the website. We're going to go through this quickly, but let's just quickly go through my summary here. 50% of the fee distribution auto buyback Switch drip to VE NFT holders. Voting pool routes 75% of the community fee to voters with their LP share retained, right? So voting pools route 75% community fee to voters. The drip smoothing for stable reward. So they got a drip as well, reward. Liquidity provision, automatic liquidity management, ALM vaults, basically protocol native, volatility adaptive ranges, TWAP, which is time weighted average prices, rebalancing, reduces manual management and impermanent loss issues if you're in peers that move a lot against each other, unlike stablecoins, for example. Dynamic volatile base fees, base and override. So there's going to be dynamic volatile base fees, higher in volatile markets to protect LPs, lower in calm markets to attract volume, right? So that's going to be important around the fees there. So lower in like stablecoins, for example. Tiered by pool type, so lower for stables, monopoly fees on Switch peers. So there we go. Switch peers getting a bit of preference there. MEV capture, so MEV bots after swap hooks and a backrun executor capture, arbitrage, MEV, the same block backrun surcharges and toxicity fee V2, cross DEX LVR protection, redirects value to voters and treasury. Farming and incentives. So if you're wanting to do farming, this is a big deal for you. Gauge voting direct finite emissions first 2.5 years. So obviously for farming, their incentives. Auto lock compounds V power, and of course early exit penalties are partially burned tokens. So if you are going to be locking without permanently burning your Switch for V power, in other words voting power and rewards that you get from that, there is a exit penalty on token, which is great to see. Security and extensibility, modular hooks, plugins, callback security patterns, audit references, and it's open for third-party plugins, which I think could be pretty powerful. No doubt they've got plans for that themselves, right? So what sets this apart as per the white paper? Well, finite and deflationary supply. The government's power strengthens over time as supply contracts via burns and penalties. So there's a lot of scarcity playing into here, and it rewards long-term holders, basically long people, especially those if you burn your tokens and you get your 2x V-power votes, you are a truly committed supporter of the project there. Sustained post-emission revenues, rewards long-term committed participants, especially burn lockers, which we're going to look at, instead of mercenary capital, the short-term players. And sustainable post-emission revenue from real fees and MEV, no reliance on endless inflation, hands-off concentrated liquidity via ALM vaults. Obviously, that concentrated liquidity, we're going to look at that too. There's little pictures of it, I think. So pretty cool. SwitchX is the next generation concentrated liquidity DEX V4, designed to fix common pitfalls of predecessors like Velodrome, Aerodrome, etc., by emphasizing scarcity, automation, MEV protection, and permanent alignment. So there we go. That is a bit of a summary of the overview of SwitchX. So hopefully that was useful. Next level. All right, so let's go through the website here just quickly. And as you guys can see, I have posted the official launch there, so you can find the link to switchx.fi on that link. So always go through the officials there. And so here's some of the highlights here. So we've got finite supply liquidity for Pulsechain. SwitchX combines concentrated liquidity, and just think of that like particular price ranges and things like that. Whereas V2 kind of spreads the liquidity over the whole price range, right? So your fees are relatively modest depending on the turnover, but here you get concentrated liquidity, so you can actually get a lot better yield potentially if you're in the right price zone. Hard capped VE33 economics, adaptive fees, MEV recapture, and automated vaults into one protocol. So pretty cool. It's got obviously the app there, and we've got explore the mechanics. So we'll go down to that. I think that's the next level down there. Yeah, next level. Anyway, so we've got some pretty cool. We've got a 1 billion hard cap there, a 2.5-year terminal emission. So that's kind of the play out there. A burn lock multiplier 2x. Now remember that number because that could be pretty powerful looking forward. And there's a weekly reward drip of 20%. So kind of cool. And hats off to the website. I mean, I really love the branding that Brandon's been doing with Switch and now SwitchX. These are top tier protocols, and I love the quality coming on Pulsechain. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, we may be at the bottom of Pulsechain, trying to find the bottom, but actually we're getting some really wonderful protocols launching on Pulsechain, really quality stuff, which is a great thing. We talked about Tetra earlier today. We talked about Liberty Swap earlier today, and now we're talking about Switch from Brandon. So, I'd get a bit of confidence about that. I really think that's great. We've got lots of great products that you can, share with people that have different risk return profiles, different functions as well. So it's really cool. All right, so why VE33 works better on SwitchX? Built around finite supply, protocol fee buybacks, smooth rewards, and automated liquidity, so value accrues to long-term participants. Pretty neat. I like that long-term beneficiary there. That might take some people's get their heads around that because people like the short game. Right? A lot of people like short game now. For traders, it's going to be safe execution. So if you're trading, and it's going to have adaptive fees. So the same block run, back run protection discourages sandwich reversals. Volatility responsive fees adjust as market conditions change. I think that's really cool. And of course, toxicity fee V2 helps price stale quote corrective flows there. So you can obviously open a swap there. I'm not sure we're going to click on that because it might take us to the app. For the LPS, so I guess for the people providing liquidity, automated liquidity management vaults, dual position vaults, balance broad coverage and fee capture. TWAP or time weighted average price driven rebalancing adapts to volatility and inventory. One-sided deposits simplify concentrated liquidity access. Explore the ATM vaults there. Cool. For everybody, this is for everybody, not particular traders or liquidity providers. Finite supply and permanent alignment. 1 billion switch hard cap with emissions ending after 2.5 years. Remember, it's only starting off at 15 million, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Burn locks destroy supply for 2x permanent voting power. And that, I think, is something that people are going to get their head around. Who likes burning their tokens? So I think about that. But that's our revenue share, right, on the platform. and it seems like that will probably be the biggest rewarder there. Fee buybacks convert, maybe aside from some LP providers, of course, fee buybacks convert 50% of collected fees into Switch. And that's a key bit there. Fee buybacks convert 50% of collected fees into Switch. But it does appear that if you're a long-term believer, and I'm not talking about Justin believer, long-term believer here, you could get in. And you also get voting power too, to direct value into the particular LP pools, which is can be very powerful. So if you're a player that wants to play in the LP position and earn lots of revenue, you could play both sides of this, right? You get and become a big voting power and earn rewards, 50% of fees collected and other rewards. And then you also are earning high yield in the pools, and you're also taking your votes. And if you've got a decent power and even influence beyond your own power, then you can help direct rewards into the automated liquidity management vaults as well. So you can target those LPs that you might be having your LP in, that sort of thing. So it's got a bit of cool stuff there for the big players, or at least people that want to play in LPs there. Modular pool controls. Each pool can inherit adaptive fees and Oracle tracking by default with advanced managed features enabled deliberately per market. So it's going to have adaptive fees. Fees respond to volatility market conditions. Toxicity fee, directional LVR protection for parity pools. ALM rebalancing, time-weighted led vault management for concentrated liquidity. MEV recapture, background profit routes into voter rewards. Farming hooks, gauge incentives with configurable reward auto locking. I think that would probably be pretty useful. And of course, signed fee lane there, prepared EIP 712 quote path for first party flows there, so you can browse the pools, which we're going to do in a minute. Real revenue, finite emissions. SwitchX starts with a fixed 2.5-year emission schedule, then keeps value flowing through fees, buybacks, MEV recapture, and drip rewards. So one way you can think about it is all the emissions get out and all the ownership tools, less whatever gets burned and stuff like that. And then therefore you just got a revenue cash cow, assuming the protocol just keeps going along every year. So it's kind of cool. 1 billion Switch hard cap with no tail emissions after 2.5 years, 50% collected trading fees convert into Switch buybacks. Drip voting rewards smooths fee spikes across future epochs. And so they do have this thing called epochs here for reward distribution. So that's I think it's a week or something like that. So we'll check that out. Burn locks and early exit burns permanently contract the supply, which is cool to see. So those burn locks and early exit burns are going to destroy some of that future supply as well. So it's kind of cool. All right. So the hard cap once again, 1 billion tokens in the future, 2.5-year missions, 50% fee buyback target at launch. So that's kind of cool. And I think we've gone through a lot of these already, built for safety, flexibility, and scale. So it does have security and audits, and of course, poll gates and governance. So there's a lot around security here, so you can check that out too. Obviously, before you participate, always security and making sure you got the right contracts, always key. Pick your path. You can be a trader and swap fees, adaptive fee concentration. So you can be a trader, start swapping. You can provide LP and start earn LPs with voter-aligned pool economics. You can be a VE participant. In other words, you can be an owner, essentially. Lock or burn lock switch. You can lock or burn lock switch. So lock will just lock it up. You get tokens back. Burn lock will actually burn your tokens forever, but give you way more voting power, up to 2x voting power. And the voting power you get is VE NFT. You'll earn drip smooth fees and buyback rewards. Remember, buyback rewards 50% plus drip smooth fees as well. So you'll be able to earn quite a bit of revenue there. So it really does reward long-term players from that point of view, while also rewarding LP players as well. And some of those APRs can be quite high sometimes. Builders, plugins, integrations, reward programs. This is going to be something we're really going to look at as well. Obviously, Brandon will be doing stuff around here, but a lot of other teams will probably be participating in this as well, hooking into this V4 pool and all its innovations. So expect maybe some of our well-known brands on Pulsechain to integrate into here. Obviously, all the DEX aggregators, right? Makes sense because we've got another big pool. We got V2 with Pulsechain, V3 with 9mm, and V4 here with SwitchX. And there's going to be, LibbySwap's doing something. There's going to be more different options out there as well. And I think Jacob with PUSD ALGO, if he gets that up and running sometime in this year, then that will also, last time we had was going to have a V3 pool, but that may modify as well. So there's lots of other things out there. Start building soon, so keep a look out for that. Built for builders, not for just for traders. Built with the published plugin SDK, deployed custom hook logic, and integrate with pools without changing the AMM core. start building soon. Kind of cool. And they got the white paper there as well. Very cool for that. Is Switch safe, they say? Well, Switch is non-custodial and uses ordered smart contracts, callback secured transfers, Oracle slippage guards, and narrow launch defaults. Managed features such as ALM, gauges, MEV execution, and toxicity fee. V2 are enabled deliberate pool. Kind of cool. What else we got there? What is ALM? ALM basically means automated liquidity management there. So providing LP having it automated there. How does Switch create revenue? Now, this is probably the bottom line for a lot of people. So if this is the only takeaway you get, voting enabled pools route fees through voter reward system. At launch, 50% of collective fees can be converted into Switch buybacks. Then rewards are smooth through drip voting reward instead of being paid out all at once. That's an interesting one. That obviously benefits long-term holders more. Is MEV shared with users? MEV recapture system uses after swap hooks to evaluate bounded back rocks there. So profits can flow into the voting rewards. Is this Pulsechain only? Now, this is a question I had as well. SwitchX launches on Pulsechain first, but the protocol is built for selective expansion. We plan to bring SwitchX to additionally high opportunity chains as the ecosystem grows. Now, the question is the Switch going to be omni-chain? In other words, will it get the rewards from other chains? And presumably that's going to be the case, as opposed to launching, Switch on every chain. That would not really make a lot of sense to me. I think omni-chain rather than multi-chain future is far more valuable. Obviously, why duplicate everything? That just dilutes everything, right? So we'll see how that plays, but I think that's probably where they're heading now. All right, ready to open up the Switch app? Are we ready, guys? Are we going to brave it? Let's do it. So we're going to jump over to the launch and launch the app here. So it's app.switchx.fi/swap. This is the main page. You can see we've got some headers here. So we've got swapping. So even if you don't want to provide liquidity, or you don't want to be kind of a long-term owner, locking your tokens away, or voting or getting in rewards on the platform, you can buy and sell. So there we go. And it will be using essentially the Switch front end, right? So which is what they already provide, I guess. So you can pick up USDC Switch, and you can buy it on the site here. So I think the pools are already the DEX pools. So if you're going to buy it on DEX Screener, take one of the links, which we'll look at in a moment. It will be going through to the V4 pool, right? So the new SwitchX pool, not to Pulsechain or something like that. But we'll probably see pools open up on other DEX AMMs as well. So you can basically select a token, and you can buy and sell, right? So you can do all that. Basically, the main pools at the moment are Pulse and USDC, I think, is the main pool, right? So it's got defaulted on that. You can select, muck around with the slippage here, so you can play around with that, all that sort of stuff, and buy. Basically, it's also got it will have the path as well that you're routing through, so you can buy that too. Just take note, it's just launched. So we're going to have to watch the maturity of it. I'm going to get into the launch token itself, because when the pool did launch, there were a few, what appeared to be as normal, a few bots picking up a lot of tokens. So we're going to talk about what that potential impact might be in the first couple of days, because typically the bots come in, they pick up a few tokens, and then they sell them all out, big profits. So we're going to talk about that. Presumably that's what it is, as opposed to team buying or anything like that. So just take note of that. So we're going to look at that. But swap, basically swap, kind of cool. Got great charts. I like it. So nice and simple there. And as Pulsechain at the moment. So let's jump over to the earn. So this is where people provide liquidity. So if you're a liquidity provider, you can earn fees and rewards for providing liquidity. They've got all pools here, automated vaults, manual pools, and your positions, right? So if you were connected to the wallet, you'd be able to see that. You can see, if we go to all pools, we can see the total value at the moment. It's just launched is 145,000. So we'll keep a track of that over the first few days and few weeks. But there's a lot of Brandon's got a pretty big name in the space, and a lot of people may want to participate on this. It's obviously very sleek, a V4 pool, concentrated liquidity, so it's got a lot of benefits that others don't offer, right? So very cool there. Volume already kicking out of the gate only after a few hours, 108,000. Obviously it's just launched, but we'll be watching all these numbers moving forward. The fees so far generated $820 so far, and it's just got started. And remember, I only just officially launched 2 hours ago, and I think the pools have been around a little bit earlier than that. All right, so kind of cool. We've got Switch pairs at the top. So if you matched up with the Switch token, we've got USDC and Switch Pulse. They're kind of the two big farms as well. We've got farms on there. And they've also got little buttons here, ALM. So they give you a little bit of detail about whether it's got farm earnings as well. But this one's ALM, so just a liquidity management automated liquidity management pool. And we can see there's got a number of things around dynamic there, and we also got the APR slash APY. So 307.9%. We're going to actually click on here. You have to connect your wallet to actually participate and create a position, but you could go to see the active farming here. So it's got farm APR range 14,500% at the moment, TVL 975. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but rewards 8,773 switch per day going to this particular pool of Switch USDC, right? So it's a farm there earning those extra farm rewards as well as the fees, no doubt. So let me just switch on here. I haven't really played around with this too much because we're kind of exploring it together. So 308% at the moment for the Switch slash USDC pool. So if you provide liquidity, and you can obviously see the add button here to add liquidity, you would be able to enter this pool. So far, there's $70,000 worth of liquidity in this pool. It is the main pool for Switch right now trading, and it's trading on the V4, which is pretty cool. Now, the volume so far, just in a few hours, has been almost $66,000. Fees earned about 592. So the most of the fees been earned on this so far. Like I say, it's just launched, and presumably I'm the first influencer covering it. So because I only just launched, so someone bet me to the mark there. We got Switch Pulse is the second biggest one, 15.77% at the moment. So you can see the disparity in the APRs right now. How long that lasts for is a question. We may see, obviously, attracting USDCs pretty important, but we may see Pulse start to ramp up as well. And of course, the votes, people voting with the votes from the DAO later. We'll get up there, not DAO, but votes later on. We'll see maybe that gets picked up as well. 25K liquid TVL in there right now. Volume 25, so as much as there is TVL, pretty impressive. And fees $184 so far. So those are the bulk of the fees that we've seen, and the fees are $820K. So you can see most of it in there. We do have some non-switch pairs. So these are native pools with 50% auto lock, maximizing protocol alignment. So kind of cool. And if we have a quick look at this little I button on the return, let's have a quick look, see what that tells us. So 24-hour APR is 308%. So that's going to move around, obviously. Pool fee there. This is the underlying pool APR. Your ALM vault APY is based on fees the vault actually collects. So, when you enter, when you exit, that sort of thing will be how long you've been in there. Pool fee, 24-hour APR, and we're not even 24 hours. We're only a couple of hours into it, right? So we're going to see what how long the token's been around. I think it's about 4 or 5 hours, something like that. Your ALM vault APY is based on fees the vault actually collects. Pool fee, 24-hour APR, 308%, 24-hour pool APR, 308%. 7-day pool, because obviously it's dividing by 7 days, is 50% at the moment. Let's see what it looks like in its first week. It will be in almost 7 days' time. 30-day pool APR, 11%. We'll see what that's like in 30 days as well before we start getting actual there. That's sort of just forward calculated. Full 7-day history is built on 2 of 7 days are observed. So apparently 2 of 7 will be the full day history is building. So I don't think they're back calculating that for 2 days. They're going to be looking for 2 days in front of us when it's been live for 2 days. Farm APY, so in range if state. So if your farm APY, if you're in the range, remember this is concentrated liquidity, so it's giving you particular price zones. If you're in that place earning most of the revenue, where it's buying and people are swapping, buying and selling, apparently that's greater than 1,000% at the moment. Annualized active farm rewards divided by the current in-range farmed NFT liquidity. Out of range farm, so if you're out of the price range with that farm liquidity, can earn again when price returns to its range, but it's not in the current APR denominator. There we go. So that gives us an idea of that 1,000% at the bottom here. So this is liquidity management APY collecting data. So we'll be looking for that as we move forward. It's only just launched, right? So kind of cool. So that's cool, but there is non-switch LPs already set up, and it's just the beginning. But the biggest one so far is USDC Pulse, and that is currently 203% right now. Now, remember, this has got ALM and a farm, so you're earning farm rewards too from the looks of it. And here with Hex Pulse, we've also got that. So this one's got 203% at the moment, but this is going to move around a lot. And this Hex Pulse one's got 891%, and there's only $5,365 in there. And about $1,000 trading so far, whereas the USDC Pulse one has already had 15, almost 16,000, almost 50% of the TVLs being traded, and it's starting to earn fees. Interestingly enough, the Hex Pulse fees even higher, $27.83 there, Pretty interesting. So that's kind of cool. Now you can deposit, I guess, your if you click on the deposit, I guess it's going to be LP tokens on the farm ones. So it's a great position there. I guess you have to provide. I guess it probably hex deposit a single token. The automated setting will optimize your position. Okay, so yeah, you can just do single side, so right, because it's not V2. Deposit a single token, and automated settings will optimize your position to maximize profits without manually adjustments. Perfect for those seeking simplicity and consistent returns. So that's pretty neat, isn't it? So you can either do hex there or pulse there, I guess, and you can just deposit it. Nice, very cool. That's automated, and you can do it manually too. Now, this manual side just gives us a bit of a clue about the concentrated liquidity side of things, right? Because it gives you some of these pictures you may or may not seen. If you've looked at liquidity providing, you've got different price ranges, and this is kind of what it's talking about. If you're in the zone, you're going to earn the high APRs, and if you're out, if it's not being traded in that zone, then you're probably not going to be earning anything, right? So we've got the narrow there, narrow zone there, so it's in a very, very narrow price range. You're kind of in the at market kind of price. Common zone where the price is most commonly, and it's got the price range at the bottom there where it needs to be. And then you've got wide, so this is just broadening it out a bit further, so more likely you're going to be in there most of the time. So think about percentage of time in here. You're going to be common there, and then wide most of the time, and full range will be essentially like a V2 pool where you just got liquidity added broadly throughout the whole profile there. Yeah, so kind of cool. And estimate APR at the moment, so you can check that out and play around with that. So there we go, manually. You can manually do it, or you can just do it automated. Bam, and there it will automated settings will optimize your position. So it's going to allow, I guess, the data that's been operating with the trading liquidity to do it for you. Is the way I interpret that. All right, so that is kind of cool. You can obviously play around with that, but that is some of the bigger pools. We'll keep a lookout for all the rest of these pools growing. They're all pretty small at the moment, but there's lots of principal options. There's 19 so far that have been set up, and you can kind of see a lot of stable coins, a lot of Richard Hart core coins, all preferred, which makes sense because that's the biggest trading volume, which is kind of cool. So if we go, we're going to just jump away a little bit and go to Pulse coin list, and we'll just show you where most of the volume is on Pulsechain right now. And you can see that it's Pulse, wrapped ETH from Ethereum, DAI. PDAI is probably the exception, right? So PDAI, Hex, ProveX, PulseX, these are all like over 100K, And then if we're only doing about 3.3 million volume on PulseX and 9mm majority. Then if we do that, go up to 6 or 7 mil, we'll probably double the amount. We'll probably have some of these other pools like Treasury Bill, Atropa, James Maria stuff, Hex from Ethereum, Teddy Bear, James Maria. So James Maria, all probably lift up in the 100K arguably. And then some of the other ones like Peacock and a few others that jump in there as well over 100K. So it makes a lot of sense to have these pools, stable coins, and Richard Hart cores as the first one set up. You can even see Wrap Bitcoin coming in there too. So not surprising. This is the where most of the volume is being traded. That's the people you want to attract right into the pools too, and especially more sophisticated players as well as people that want automated stuff, want the sophisticated stuff done for them, right? So we've got automated vaults and we've got manual pools as well. So there we go. But they've got cool little yields there, which is kind of neat. We've got AMM and farm APR if states. So annualized active farming rewards divided by current range farmed NFT liquidity out of range. So there we go. So we've got farm and ALM. Just take note of that. All right, so that's the earning pools, just as an overview. Looking at the lock coins, this is when things get quite interesting. So obviously, if you're a trader or investor, you're just buying and selling. You can use that. This is also probably be hooked into a lot of other people's dexes, right? Switch is hooked into a lot of others, and so that's going to be pretty cool. I guess other people like Curve are using Switch as API. So, but there's going to be other front ends, arguably, that will be hooking all into this as well. So this will expand the user base, arguably. We've got earning if you're going to provide liquidity, offering new services on Pulsechain, which we haven't had as far as I know, so kind of cool. And then locking. So if you want to be a kind of an owner / long-term supporter, this is the place to be, right? Locking, and that is governance tokens. So governance lock switch to receives V switch. votes on gauges to direct emissions. So you can actually, if you are providing LP, it'd be very important if you're wanting to play long game to be able to get good voting power, because then you'll be able to direct the votes for rewards into these switch pairs or other farms that you've got, or one of these others here. So it's pretty important from that point of view. So there's two types of locks, right? So there is standard locks, so time lock position. Voting power decays towards expiry, which I think is pretty cool. That's really pushing you to keep engaging, keep pulling, keep locking away tokens. Kind of cool. Early exit available with penalty. So there is a penalty if you want to do that. Up to 2 years is the max locking period, and of course it is decaying, which is kind of cool. Now you can see for standard lock, if you take your switch tokens on the market, which we're going to come to in a minute, you can create a standard lock. Lock your switch tokens to receive time-weighted voting power. So let's just argue you had, for argument's sake, let's just use 10,000 switch, right? So 10,000 switch, you can do a 3-month lock here. I mean, you can scroll the bar. You can do all sorts of time frames. Maximum is 104 weeks or 2 years. But you can hit the quick period times, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years max. And if you do that, you will see a change. So let's just do 3 months. You receive. So if we did 10,000 switch and you want to lock it in for some voting power, well, you're only going to get 1,246. So obviously, the shorter, you're going to get less switch, V switch there. Voting ratio power, 1 switch equals 0.1247 V switch. So you're reducing your chance there. Obviously, longer is going to be your benefit there. Power expire as well. It's got linear decay. Early exit there, inverse quadratic penalty there. And of course, penalty curve there, 100% start, 75% halfway, and 10% floor. So your penalty curve there, if you want to exit early, just take note of the massive penalty as you go. So halfway, 75% apparently. Penalty split, 50% voters and 50% burns. So 50% of the people voting that have V switch will probably get your penalty. So if you burn 5,000, you lose 5,000, for example, then that's 50% going to go to the voters, the other V switch holders that are still holding on, locking in, and 50% to burning the token supply, reducing total supply. So you can kind of see this is could end up being a key burner. And don't be surprised that people burn out when they want to get out for whatever reason. So that happens too. Now we've got 6 months there, that drops up to 25. So 6 months. And so it's not perfectly linear, because halfway for 2 years is 1 year, and that's just below 50%. So your 10,000 will be just below 5,000 switch. So your 10,000 switch just below 5,000 for 1 year. You do a 2 year maximum lock. Now that means you get the tokens back at the end, right? Then you got, I don't know what 10% floor means. I'm not quite sure. Halfway floor, 10% floor. I'm not sure what that floor part means. We'll have to check that maybe in the docs. But presumably you just get all your tokens out at the end, right? I'm not sure what that means. Does it mean end? I'm not sure. We'll check that. But if you did 2 years, then you're going to get just below one to one. So 9,972 V switch, which gives you quite a bit of voting power, arguably, right? Especially at the beginning now. Remember, there's only 50 million tokens out at the beginning. It's early days for that. Auto lock status 50%, for example. Reserve credits there, burn credits, farm claimable. Farm switch can be claimed liquid, auto locked into V switch, or saved here as standard burn credits to lock later. Create lock from credits, create burn lock from credits. So obviously you can, if you got your credits, you can just compound your ownership. I guess is that what's what's saying there. Now the other thing you can do is not only can you do standard locking and compounding your rewards, I guess, but you can also burn lock. Now this is next level. This is the max level. This is the max believer, and this is truly the Justin believer. I don't think Brandon will be happy about the same comparing to Justin Bieber, but this is the max burn lock here, and you get 2x power. Yes, 2x power. You don't just get this this ratio down here for 3 to 2 years or whatever. You actually get 2x voting power. So this is for the believers here, and essentially the system rewards long-term holders. If you're not doing LP providing, this is the place to earn a lot of mucho grandes, right? And you're a believer long term. But the thing is, you have to burn your switch, guys. You have to burn your switch. So let's take that 10,000 switch, and that's going to give you 20,000 V switch. Remember that in max 2 years locking, that was just below 10,000 Well, here you're going to get 2x your V-switch. So very powerful for those long-term believers. But you're going to burn your tokens away, so you won't get them at the end. You won't get them at the end. So take note of that. And there's no penalty because you're burning them all up front anyway, right? So remember, you are in it for the long term. Multiplier 2x voting power. There is no decay, unlike locking, and early exit not available because once you burn, they're gone forever, and that reduces the supply as a market as well. All right, so but you get 2x V-switch power, which means that you're going to get more rewards, way more rewards if you hold the whole line, right? So and you're going to get them in as time goes by. So yeah, you're not going to have any claimable tokens at the end, but the other ones will have claimable tokens, but they'll also have, they do 2 years, but they'll also have half the amount of rewards, which you can do whatever you want with, I guess, and auto compound too. So you've got compounding, power of compounding there too. Interesting question about value there, but that is kind of cool. So that is kind of cool. And of course, if you connect your wallet and you did that, you would have some V-switch, right? So 2 ways of V-switch there. Let's go to the voting here and see what happens. So if you've got V-switch, you're in governance. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the board. Lock switch to receive V-switch. Votes on gauges to direct emissions and earn bribes. What the hell? What's this bribes? I know that Fast Abdul, he likes bribes, doesn't he? I'm in it for the bribes. Well, now he says he's in it for detect, but I think he likes the bribes too. We got in it for the bribes there, and apparently we've got some global data. So global meaning that representing all players that are participating, and then we got vote cast. Apparently, 3% of votes have been cast already. So there are people already active, and we're only been a few hours in. Now, this is the rewards emissions are run by epochs. So just basically eras here, and I believe that they're 7 days, right? So 7 days. And so we've got the next epoch emissions. It's got 122,000 switch tokens. Remember that we've got this 2.5 year, emission profile for the total supply, less burned, of course, over time. And then we've also got fees generated from the actual swapping and LP, right, positions, right? This earn stuff here, all the stuff that's being earned over here, and that's getting added as well. The rewards on epochs there. This is going to be released by drip as well, so there's a drip rate rather than all at once. Voting for epoch 2941. So apparently we're in 2941. I'm not sure why it's number 2941. I'm not sure why is it not epoch 1. I don't know. I'm not sure what the rationale there is for that. Maybe it's just a I don't know, test net, I don't know, whatever, but ends in 6 days and 80 hours. So presumably this is a 7-day clock, and we're already down, 5.5 hours already into the protocol since it launched. Now, we only had the official post out from Brandon about 3 hours ago. So this was out 3 hours ago. But the protocol clock's been running for at least another 2.5 hours from the looks of it, which is not surprising. You've got to launch launch everything. Kind of cool. So what else there? We got lock switch to start voting. Obviously, you have to go and lock there, so that will take you back to this previous tab. Voting power remaining. I guess if you've got votes, if you've got V-switch power up here, you'll be able to. It also has an average APR, so you get an idea what your APR will be. But that's going to move around a lot because the protocol's just launched. I think this is a pretty big protocol, and I think it's going to have a pretty bright future. But nothing's guaranteed. But Brandon's a big player in the Pulsechain, big player multi-chain. He's got big vision. He does top tier execution. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic about this as a top tier protocol. And I've been talking about us having more room for more AMM pools in Pulsechain. At least up to half a dozen, especially as we get into a bull market run on Pulsechain. And of course, I'm a believer in that. So we're waiting for that moment, but it's coming. It's coming. So kind of cool. And in fact, launching, we are at the bottom of Pulse, just above, 507,000. If this is the bottom, and we've been there for about 8 weeks now, then what a time to launch. What a time to launch MG. It's kind of like, there's only one way is up, baby. That's kind of the play. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but certainly I think it's a good time to launch. All right, so we've got a couple of pools that are available for voting. We've got the Switch USDC pool and the Switch PLS pool, so we've got preference to the switching there. And we've got the voting rewards, and then we've got they're going to be allocated, and then of course we've got the voting power. So far, 70% of the votes that have been given out so far, apparently it's only 3%. which is not surprising. Some people are not even voting maybe yet. But apparently 70% gone to Switch. Apparently that's 691,000 V-Switch. And then 1.7%'s gone to Switch Pulse. That's almost 17,000 V-Switch votes. And then what else? USDC Pulse, 28%. That's 276,000 V-Switch. So what's that's almost a million, isn't it? 700, yeah. So it's about a million votes there, and then a little bit, 520 have gone to USDC Dipole, poor little Dipole, but that's what's happening there. Kind of cool. So people can vote. When you vote, there's this My Votes here, got little buttons, I believe, and you can just click on those and allocate your votes. That's it. That's it. That's all happens. I think that lasts for at least a week from each voting epoch. So your votes, you could vote once a week there, I guess. If you don't vote, I guess you give more power to those that do vote. And if LP providers got a lot of tokens locked and they're voting, and they're also, sending all the incentives to their favorite pool, then that gives them more dominance. There's a bit of a game theory on this, isn't there? A bit of game theory on this. Kind of cool. Now there's also a search bar, so you can search for your favorite token. And if we want to search for Hex, it's going to pull up the Hex pools. So there's 3 Hex pools there. We've got the ALM vault there, and we've got 2 manual vaults. They've been set up. So boom. All right. So you can play around with that yourself. We're just doing a kind of an overview exploration. So that's the voting page. And then we've got the first halving. So emission rate drops 50% each halving. So there's a whole year until the next halving. So emission rate will drop 50%. So obviously you're going to earn a lot more rewards in the first year, basically. Then emissions ends forever is 912 days. So that's that 2.5 year period where all the rewards, are going to be allocated. And I guess that's the gap between 15 million, which is the initial supply, and 1 billion tokens, which is the end supply. So it's going to be pretty crazy. There's going to be a lot of trading volume over that time, right? Arguably. So that's going to be pretty cool. All right, so let's jump over to the Earn protocol here. So let's do a refresh. Just refresh this just to get the latest and greatest. So, $148,000 in TVL so far in a few hours, $112,000 of volume, and we're not even 24 hours. Now, this first day, we're going to watch this volume over time, and so far $845 of fees there as well. So they're kind of cool. All right, so let's jump over to the rewards page. Governance lock switch to receive V-Switch, vote on gauges, We talked about that already on the vote page. It's got, if you have V-Switch, you're going to get your average APR. We'll see what this is going to be. Obviously, we've got fees and switch tokens being allocated. And if you're a long player, you can basically lock and burn lock and get 2 extra V, and then you're basically a long-term owner, right? You're believing in the system. I mean, that's kind of the belief that you have to have there. Obviously, there's other game theory. You can standard lock, go into the LP pools, earn as well. And there's lots of different ways of getting rewarded. You have, so no switching here, but this is what we have, your voting rewards and your total rewards as well. So kind of cool. Now, analytics, let's go to that last page. Analytics here, we've got the total overviews here. Obviously, the numbers are pretty handsome on the percentages, but we'll see what it's like. It's only just launched. And so we'll watch the TVL hopefully grow into the millions. That's the idea. And the volume there be handsome. Like if we're doing 3.3 million volume, excluding Switch X, and it can add another couple 100,000 minimum, that's kind of cool. If it does like 300,000 a day, that's kind of similar to 9mm, the V3 DEX. It's been around for a long time. So if it does that minimum, that's pretty good. Obviously, if it starts to get into the $1 million and it starts heading up towards like Pulsechain, which is doing about $3 million, so that 3.3, then, wow, that's fantastic, huge. And it's got V4 concentrated liquidity, very favorable to liquidity providers, particularly people that want to max out returns. So we'll keep a lookout whether we get a lot of smart LP providers flooding into SwitchX. I guess that's the play, right? And kind of cool. We got obviously the pools. We've got the tokens that are over there at the moment. We've got the TVLs, and you can see USDC, Switch, Pulse, DAI, all those ones. Remember, I had that. We went to Pulse coin list, and we saw which ones are making the most ones. Well, very smart here. Brandon knows what he's doing, and we've got all the pools in here. So there we go. Transactions, lots of transactions going on. Kind of cool. We can even sort. We've got swaps. So we can even see all the swaps going on. I like that. That's pretty neat. Mints. Let's just get rid of them all. Let's get rid of them all. Clicks. Let's go mints. I got mints. I guess token the mints there. I'm not quite sure what the mints are. New type mints. I guess it's that new pools. I'm not sure. Burns. We've got burns. So we've got a lot of Switch being burned. Several dollars, like $107 burn. 2,435. We've got lots of burns going on. So people burning there, probably getting into the burn lock, right? Pretty burn lock there. So there are people burning their Switch tokens already, and it's only a few hours in. Are they awesome? Are they awesome? Well, they're mad. No, I think it's pretty big there. So this is a great way of ownership, and it's really rewarding long-term believers. It's kind of the whole idea there. So that's the analytics. Kind of cool. We've also got under pools. We also have a farm pools, so you can click on that, or you can click off that, put ALM pools, I guess. I've got my pools there. So we go, let me just click on that. AMM pools, farm pools, and you can hit the reset button as well. Reset, what's the reset? I think it's a reset button there. So you can play around with that a little bit as well. So some of them are just ALM, so you're earning fees. Some of them actually have farm rewards from the looks of it, and that's pretty much, I think, the differential there. And then we've also got ALM automatic liquidity pools, and also manual pools that people have set up. I guess that's the way you can look at that. And some of them you just deposit tokens, and it looks like single side as well with the V4. And others you can add liquidity. So there's a little bit of variability there. That's kind of cool. So we're going to get into the docs next. How we're doing for time? 51 minutes, not bad. We've got a pretty good audience watching. So if you are enjoying the content, smash the like, smash the subscribe on YouTube, and don't forget to repost on X as well. Repost on X. So let's go to Switch token. So Switch at the moment, it is doing pretty well on the old price. The market cap at the moment, 645K. You'll see at the top here, unknown DEX. See DEX listings. So, normally, like I say, if we go back to all liquidity pools, and we cover this every day on the daily live show, you can see the total volume at the moment, about 3.4 million. What's Pulsechain doing? I said it was about 3. Yeah, 2.8. Okay, I was a little bit over. 2.8. What's 9mm? Must be 500,000. 400K. Kind of cool. Now, this DEX, new DEX, is not showing up here yet, but it will pop up here, right? It will pop up. I don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow. Maybe it probably needs 24 hours at least, I would suggest. So we'll see. But that's coming up. And if we actually go through all DEXs, and it's obviously being picked up here, we go to, it's already been picked up, but not showing up the top header here from the looks of it, then we will see that pop up there hopefully by tomorrow. But we can see that we've got the two main pools that we talked about, right? So 71K is the USDC one that we talked about, 25K is the Pulse one, and we can see those two up here, right? These two pools here, 70K, 25K. I guess it matches up pretty well. So if we have a look at the USDC one, which is number 2, we can see the yields at the moment, 2,000% on the up, 24 hours, 6 hours, 2,000%. Essentially, it was only launched, a few hours ago. So this Pulse one apparently is 5 hours. It's 5 hours old. And this USDC one is actually 8 hours ago, even though we only got official posting about this 3 hours ago. So it was already up and running. And we saw that on the timer. The epoch was already 5.5 hours through. So there's some sort of timing around when the protocol was set up, and the LP pools as well. Obviously, a bit of profit taking over the last hour, down 12%. So it's the first bit of profit taking there that I've kind of seen so far. And we'll have a look at the chart on USDC. So we've all got this DEX, so unknown DEX listing. If we click on the factory, which is the V4 pool, it will bring up here, and we can actually see it. So we can actually see the V4 pool for SwitchX here. And these are the pairs that are running on it at the moment. So essentially, I guess what we're seeing on here, but showing up on the DEX pools selected tokens, showing up in the selected pools here. And you can see the top 2 ones along with the Hex Pulse one as well. So that's kind of cool. And this will presumably show up in the metadata at the top here along with the rest of the DEX. And it should just sit in after 9mm. But look, it might even do better because the old 9-inch one, which is a little bit deprecated now, right? 10K in volume. No one really wants to go there anymore for many reasons. It should pop up here tomorrow. It should be popping up here, right? So going to be exciting to see that, right? Going to be exciting to see that. So that's kind of cool. We've got Ayla in-house there. Switch is only getting started. More features unlocked tomorrow. There's a little bit of alpha drop there. Like to see that. Yeah, we're excited about that. All right, kind of cool. Alicia says, I sacrifice for everything. I mean everything, which art related. I have all the crypto I need at this point. Don't need me any Switch, says Alicia. Right else we got there. Yeah, get in the chat there with the comments. Elo says, looking forward to the ALM liquidity creation there, says Ayla there. Yeah, very much indeed. Great to see your orange rings there too. All right, so that is kind of cool. Let's quickly go back up to here as well. So we're going to have a quick look in here. So that is the DEX, and presumably it will show up tomorrow. So this is sort of some of the homework there. Now, we've got a lot of trading here. Now, I want to go back to trading here because I want to quickly talk about the token here. So obviously we've had a launch. The token's gone up. We only got the announcement about back here, right, when the chart started pumping. And so the chart is on the move. We've had a high so far of just under 6 cents. Which the market cap, if we go to the market cap, would have been just under 900,000, $893,000. So that's kind of where we are right now. Right, so that's kind of interesting. Now we know market caps can be very different, very manipulated for so forth. So they are what they are, right? The market's going to move. So let's go. This is the hourly chart, and we're currently going back to the price here. We can see the price currently at 4.5 cents, just under that. Been as high as 6 cents, so just down from there at the moment. And we've got the market at 646k, so in about 2/3 of what it was. And with liquidity 71k, the main peer 78k in volume, and is what you want, right? If you're on here and you want to earn rewards, you want volume going through this APR high, and of course that's going to flow through to those that lock and burn their tokens and get vote and get their rewards, right? That's kind of the logic. And so we're going to be watching that, and it's great to have. Like I say, if we look at the overview metrics, great to have a third big AMM pool running and a V4. So we've got V2, V3, and V4. So it's kind of operating. We've got other pools out there as well, but we want to get the turnover accounted for, right, and boasting there. Now this is going to go multi-chain from the looks of it, so we're excited about that too. And Ethereum and Base are probably the first two because that's what Switch does, right? Switch does ETH and Base, if I remember rightly. Let's go to the contract itself. So the contract is OX357. 76 FB is the contract for Switch. You can see down there. We're going to go to you can obviously also confirm it in docs here and everything else. We're going to go to the docs in a minute, the white paper. But you can actually see the supply here. So let's have a look. There aren't a lot of holders, but there's also people being burning their tokens. So remember that. So there's 15 million was the amount of Switch that was launched. We can see that 27 holders at the moment. But remember, there are people burning their tokens for the V Switch voting rights and rewards, right? So just take note of that. But at the moment, we've got a couple of big wallets at the top here. I'm not going to go through all this today, but just give you an idea. A couple of big wallets, possibly Brandon or something like that, Switch Team, I don't know. But that's all up here, 34th, 20%. We've obviously got some contracts in here as well. Some contracts here for the LP pools. So 1, 2, 3. So there'll be LP pools at 522. I think might be this one here. Yeah, 592. So don't know the difference here, but there's maybe related to that contract there for the LP pool. Maybe just be a bit behind in the data. I don't know. Then we've got these other pools here. So actually, 1% kind of whale accounts. Now I don't know whose all these accounts are. Presumably some of the team. I don't know. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if any of these are contracts. Wallets in the contract. I haven't checked them all. Right. So just take note of that. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 contracts don't appear to be contracts. 7 wallets that have over 1%. Now I don't know who those are or whether they're part of the contract or whatever, but that's what's there at the moment. And then at the moment, just get on page 1. Well, there's not that many holders, right? So there's only 1 page of holders at the moment. This might take a little while to update too, but at the moment you can get on there with 108 tokens at the moment. So that's not a lot, is it? So keep a lookout for that. It's just the beginning. And no doubt people are participating in this lock and burn lock as well as the pools. And we'll keep watching this numbers. Let's do a refresh here while we're at it. Yeah, so there we go. 115K, 752 in fees there so far. And I think we go to the rewards. Oh, not that one. This one. Yeah, rewards. This epoch is currently $112 so far. Only just getting started. And of course, you earn Switch too, is the way it looks of it. So it's kind of cool. Now, I just want to quickly talk about some of the ways that people may be earning rewards here. So let me just quickly see whether I've got a little bit of detail about that. So some of the strategies that people might be able to do is acquire Switch and lock maximally for V NFTs. That's the highest leverage, I guess. Lock for 2 full years or permanently burn for 2x voting power multiplier. So you've got a couple options there. Burn locks are irreversible but give permanent non-decaying 2x V power. There's the ultimate alignment play with protocol rewards. That's kind of the implication there. Early exit penalties are severe, so if you do decide to end, inverse quadratic. I do like their maths. I do like their maths in this team. Default 50% of the default burn and 50% to voters. So obviously people that decide to not be diner hands, they're going to get penalised heavily, and that's going to go to the believers. The believers there. Why this maximizes return voting power directly determines how much of the fee buybacks, MEV recapture, drip rewards, and emissions your V NFTs receive. Okay. That's basically the end game there. Longer, higher power, disproportionately larger share of all protocol revenue. You can see long-term believers, and I'm not talking about Justin Believer, although that's making me laugh every time I say it, is they're going to get the rewards. You guys are all going to start getting in locked positions and then wear Justin Bieber t-shirts. You know what's going to happen. All right, jokes aside. Number 2, provide liquidity. Obviously, it's going to be a good thing. That's what the protocol is designed for, is LP providers with concentrated liquidity, V4. You're going to be able to open up ALM vaults, so automated rebalancing that's automatically going to rebalance as opposed to manual ones. Very exciting. So you can get automated and optimize those returns, right, as an LP provider or liquidity provider. Automated balancing with volatility, adaptive ranges, and TWAP guards. This handles concentrated liquidity for you, reduces impermanent loss, and keeps your positions optimal without manual management there. So this is going to be extremely attractive compared to Pulsechain and to some degree, and of course 9mm to some degree, right? Because you're going to get this really optimized yield potentially in your position. So very, very cool flexibility there and high yield. So that's what people are after: more fees, more revenue. Focus on high volume strategic pairs. Obviously, stable pairs will likely have the most votes early, obviously from the voting pool. So that's the other side of things, right? Where will people put the vote? So far, we've seen it switch USDC getting most of the vote there. Farming emissions, all right, you'll be able to, so what you earn in the LP providing, you've got to earn adaptive swap fees, so dynamic based on volatility and toxicity LVR protection. You also farming emissions while they last. If you're in a farm like we saw in here, they're not all have farms, right? Some of those ALMs there. So it's got to have the yellow farm pool there. Just take that note of that. And of course, share of MEV runbacks and early exit penalties as well. There's a pro tip: vote your V NFTs to direct emissions to the exact pools. So this is where I'm saying, if you're going to play the yield, you also may want to play the locking / voting, so that you can direct voting power for the rewards to your particular pools that you might be in, right? So there we go. A lot of game stuff there. And look, and a lot of people may not end up voting every week, right? So this is going to be pretty passive owners of V NFTs and not be voting at all. So this. If you're an active player, then that's only going to play in your favor. So a pretty game theory there. The other thing you can do, of course, is so that's basically what they're doing with the V NFTs. It's basically a classic flywheel, and it's made sustainable because emissions are finite and fees are real long-term rewards. And of course, if this becomes a dominant DEX, as it looks, very promising to do, then it's just going to turn over every day. Welcome to. Well, you don't have to start your own entrepreneurial business. If this succeeds, then you succeed with it, right? That's kind of the idea. All right, so compound via auto buybacks, number 3. Another way of earning compound via auto locks and buybacks. Farming rewards are automatically locked, 50% for native pools and up to 90% for vampire external pools. This prevents dumping and continuously grows your V power. 50% of all protocol trading fees are auto swap for Switch and drip to voters. Constant buy pressure that scales with volume and continues forever after emissions end. So kind of bullish there. A fourth way might be post-emission play, maybe year 3 after the emissions are all out, after 2.5 years. And once emissions stop, the only rewards come from real trading fees and MEV. The token becomes strictly deflationary, burns from locks and penalties, and any unsold buybacks. Holders who lock burn early will own a larger and larger percent of the protocol as supply contracts. So, if you're owning a increasing percentage, this is a top DEX operating with all these other front ends with hooked in with the SDKs, APIs, and it's one of the flourishing ones. Man, it could be a real cash cow there. Summary of return sources, of course. So emission farms, you've got swap fees, fee buybacks, MEV recapture, and early exit penalties. So there we go. A couple of different things there. So during the emissions in the first 2.5 years, farming emissions will be high, swap fees will be medium to high, expectation, fee buybacks high, 50% of fees, MEV recapture medium to high, early exit penalties medium, and looking post emissions, so after 2.5 years, farming emissions obviously 0 after that time, so the first 2.5 years, farming emissions high, but after that, none. And then swap fees high, real revenue. So we're probably moving to medium high to high. And of course, fee buybacks high, and after 2.5 years, medium high for MEV capture. So those are pretty similar under both pre 2.5 years and after 2.5 years of the emission allocation. And then early exit penalties, medium as well. So those are sort of some of the ranges that you might be able to expect as well moving forward. Now, obviously, there are risks in the things. So obviously, smart contract risk, but obviously, Brandon does a lot of auditing. That's what they do for business. Impairment loss, obviously, provide LP. They are mitigated with automatic liquidity management because it automates a lot of stuff, but it's not completely eliminated, particularly, obviously, outside stable peers. Low initial liquidity volume on Pulse. Obviously, we're coming off the bottom, hopefully. So we've got low, which means if there's more volume in the future, if Pulsechain starts to rally, then this is obviously a great time to launch, as I said earlier. Governance concentration is always an issue. If some of the big LP players come in and start taking big block positions, then they really get some power. And of course, early burn lock gives the pre-mint governance a strong starting position. Buy locks and early exit penalties are irreversible. Remember that. So if you do burn, they are irreversible. Pulsechain specific risks, of course, are always there. Network gases, the bridge, all that, it. They're all the normal stuff, and of course, regulatory uncertainty, which probably not so much a problem for the way to go. So basically the protocol is engineered so the most returns go to the most committed participants, not mercenaries. And the winning strategy may be this: buy switch on early launch, burn or MAC locks, a significant proportion for 2x permanent power. LP via the LMP vaults for pools. You'd vote to boost. You boost them, of course, and auto lock and buybacks compound everything. That would be potentially a way of winning there. Obviously, nothing's financial advice. It just is what it is. But that's some of the strategic opportunities potentially that you could do. All right. So that's kind of cool. Hopefully, that was a pretty good overview and some things to think about. And like we say, this is where we are. We've got that 15 mil and the max supply. So let's go look at the white paper as well. And we maybe do some stuff around pools. So this is the white paper here. We've got lots of tables here, abstract, introduction, etc., all the way down. Protocol architecture overview, concentrated liquidity engine. We've got adaptive fee system, switch tokenomics, vote escrow governance, the gauge voting and fee distribution, farming and auto lock mechanism, the MEV recapture system, automated liquidity management, security model, what sets SwitchX apart, emissions, math, appendix, and references there. So these guys, they're really keen on good communications. So we like that. All right, so let's zoom in on this a little bit here and see whether we can go through things here. I'm not going to sure where we're going to go. We might quickly look at the introduction. Obviously, there's an abstract there. We've gone through a lot of the stuff already, right? So I don't want to get too lost in the weeds. Protocol architecture, I think that's kind of cool. SwitchX is built on a modular architecture where each layer composes with the next through well-defined interfaces. Design allows independent upgrades to individual components without disrupting the broader system. These guys are such cool developers, aren't they? Thinking of things like that. Let's go to the bottom though. So we've got the core layer. So the core layer, I said V4 pool, V4 factory, V4 pool deployer, and a V4 community vault. So that's the core layer at the bottom. Moving above that, we've got the periphery layer, non-fungible position manager. That's going to be pretty key, right? Swap router, obviously swapping, and the quota there. We've got a plugin layer here. SwitchX-based plugin, dynamic fee, background fee, toxicity fee, and fee discount. We saw a lot of those features, right? MEV background plugin, a volatility Oracle plugin, and a farming proxy plugin and ALM plugin. So that's the plugin layer. Farming layer, they got the farming center, they got the V4 eternal farming and eternal virtual pool. Above that, they have the ALM vault layer, ALM vault there, ERC20, PRC20 in case Pulsechain, hybrid rebalancer manager, and ALM keeper. And then finally, the top layer there, the voting layer there, voting escrow with the VNFTs. That's the power, baby. That's the power, baby. It's the just the believers. We've got voter there as well, minter, gauges, rewards, protocol fee manager, and drip voting rewards. So quite a little system, isn't it, of coding there. So nice work there from Brandon and the crew. All right, so kind of cool. We've got lots of details in there. I'm not going to go all of this. I just want to get to some of the highlights. But you can definitely, if you want to geek out and get to the deep level, then definitely check out the documents, particularly if you want to do your due diligence for providing liquidity or anything. Adaptive fee there. So we're going to go through all of this stuff. We've sort of got base fee, maximum fees that go. I will probably go through some of this on another live stream, but we're trying to just do high level, comprehensive high level overview, I guess, is what we're doing at the moment, because we're not doing it for 10 minutes. We've got all these sort of contracts in here. Let me just scroll down here. I want to get to some pictures if I can. Some pictures. Anyone like pictures? Let's go down here. We've got quite a few. Switch tokenomics. That's the one I wanted to get to. So supply parameters. So 1 billion switch is total. Now, you guys know we only got 15 mil, and we already had some burn. Look at this, man. We already had over 500,000 burned out of 15 million. That's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. So it's kind of neat. So yeah, and you can see some of that activity. Remember, on the analytics, you can go to analytics and look at transactions, and I guess you can look at the burns. You can just go, what do we just take out everything here and just have the burns, and you can see all the burns. Look, I guess that's all the burning tokens. Kind of cool, and have an idea. Now, pre-mint, well, they said 15 million, but they got 30 million here, so I don't know what happened there. There's only 15 on here. I'm not sure what happened to the other 15. 3% of cap. So I'm not sure what happened with the other 15, but emission budget 970 and 2.5 years there. So I'm not sure. They must have just changed 15 million at the beginning. Let's have a look here, see if it gives us an explanation. Governance burn 15 million. Okay, so it looks like they're burned already. 15 million already. Liquidity bootstrapping 12 million. And bribe budget 2 million. So if you're in voting, you're going to earn this bribe budget. Launch bribes and future partner matching reserve. Okay, maybe that. Operational budget 1 million. Team locks, gas contingencies. Gives you a bit of an idea there. So it looks like this stuff here was out of that 30 mil was gone. And that looks like it's gone because we only got less than 15 million on the supply ticker plus the burn. So I think that's what adds up there. The 2 million switch bribe budget is a pre-mint reserve. Now, is that already on here? We got the 2 mil. I'm not sure if it's one of these. So it might be one of these contracts, right? So I haven't gone through all the contracts. So that's why I said, caveat on that, right? And give me a break. I haven't had a chance to go through the whole thing. We're just kind of exploring it. I've only had a high level view of it, really. So, but hopefully we've been dropping some alpha on it. So there we go. Emissions follow a 3-phase halving schedule over 2.5 years. 1 year. So this is pretty interesting. 12 months base rate, 1.6 million switch a day, almost 600 million in the first year. Then we have a halving, and we get down to 300 million. Then we have another halving, and then we're basically down from 1.6 to 400,000 a day. So that implies a bit of value, and 34, and then we get up to 2.5, 970 mil. After 2.5 years, emissions drop permanently, and that's when that fourth scenario, that is once everyone holds the ownership, and assuming the volume's still ticking over, and the brand awareness is up, and all these front end interfaces, and lots of stuff, Pulsechain's pumping or whatever, that this is operating as a really good going concern. Then those that are left with the V switch tokens are sitting pretty nice. They're pretty, that's a nice little earner there potentially. So and of course anything else that evolves in the switch ecosystem, because it's pretty clear that Brandon's in for the long run here, and it's exciting. It's exciting. Why not? This is it's basically like building out your own business in the blockchain, which is what they once wanted to do. Cool. There's lots of formulas in here. I don't want to get into all that because I haven't had a chance to go through it all. But kind of cool. We do have a treasury allocation, interesting enough. 10% of emissions are directed to the protocol treasury. That's interesting. Governance reinforcement, ecosystem growth, strategic partnerships, grant integrations, kind of cool. Liquidity bootstrapping, targeted incentives for priority pools. That's cool. So nice there. So that's self flywheel stuff, right? More flywheel incentives. They got why the fixed supply is important, but no new tokens, only sources of sell pressure, burn locks permanently remove tokens, fee buybacks create constant buy pressure. Remember that. So fees are going, once it stops emission, it's all going down with the volume. So obviously just if it's a going concern, successful venture, then that will play out, right? It's just a function of math then. So we've got these in the house there, permanent locks. Burn locks are Switch's X's most distinctive government feature. Instead of locking tokens for a finite period, holders can irreversibly burn. Now, that may become quite popular. We're already seeing quite a bit of burn, over 500,000 tokens burned already, and plus the 15 million start. But, other users, over 500,000 already. So I think it's a pretty good start in a couple of hours. Let's see what the full day is like. Maybe people will become addicted to irreversibly burning their Switch tokens. I don't know. We'll see. that's a lot of value to burn, but we'll see. Some people are going to play the short game, wait for the pump, right? So we're already seeing a little bit of that here, but token's holding up. What will the market value be? I guess you could say it relative to 9mm. Probably 9mm is probably first comparable. While this market cap's about similar to 9mm right now, I think it's around 650 on 9mm, so it's pretty similar now. The 900K was probably too much, but the volume picks up and becomes the second biggest DEX on DEX screener ahead of 9mm. Then that will be that will get repriced, wouldn't it? All things equal. Although things are not always equal, are they, in crypto? So just never know. But that's some of the thoughts there. Let's scroll down here. There's so much detail here. I'm not going to go through all that, but certainly if there's topics that you are particularly interested in, you should read through these documents. Let's see what else we got there. Governance timeline. Starting from the 15 million governance burn, 30 million V-power. The table below illustrates governance power under a maximum recycling scenario where all treasury emissions are burn locked. 2.3 million V-power per week at 10% treasury rate. And I guess that's the other thing too. If people do reversely burn, their ownership is 2x, right? So in that sense, but it's relative to everybody else doing it too. So if a lot of people just lock, they're certainly at a disadvantage. They get their tokens out later on, but they're certainly at a disadvantage on less rewards and compounding ability, I guess, is the way to look at that. All right, people could do the maths on that, right? Do the maths. They have to make certain assumptions, but they'll be interesting. Weekly there, what's that? Treasury V-power, obviously in there as well. Also, governance control range. They got the percentage of control there, so I haven't really thought through that, but that's an interesting topic. All right. Community fee there. When a swap occurs in a voting-enabled pool, community fee percentage, 70% of the swap fee is collected from that community fee balance, 7% is diverted to the Treasury. Treasury, getting good flywheel stuff there, remaining 93% continues the voter rewards. Voter contract claims these fees during the dispute call. Fees are routed through the protocol fee manager for processing. Processing fees are deposited into Pool's drip voting reward contract, which we saw, right? So rewards there. I guess it's voting rewards. And what do we have on it? I saw a little drip thing. Fees are these are done by rewards dripping there. Those are the trading fees. Let's see what else we got. Oh, where are we going here? Switch back here. Might close that down because keep losing spot there. Automatic fee buybacks as well. So these are all the details. We're going to scroll back down through this. Drip voting reward there. It's got all the mechanics. I will probably go through some of this again on another live stream, but it's I need to have another look at all this stuff. If a pool accumulates 10,000 DAI in fees with the 20% launch drip rates, so it's got different periods here. I'm presuming the periods are epochs, which would be 1 week every week. If I'm correct about that, I'm not sure what the periods are. Does it say? I'm presuming it's an epoch period. And then the release would be a slow release there over that period. There we go, 8,000 down to 1,000 for $10,000 in fees. So 2,000 released, then it left 8,000, 1,600, 6,400, etc. After 10 periods, 89% of the original fees have been distributed and the remainder continue to drip over subsequent periods. Okay. What else we got there? Stage launch emission. Epochs, what SwitchX launches with all 4 core gauges wired from day one, but emissions are directed in stage baselines rather than equal split. So we really are in the early days of all these rewards, I guess, relative to what the rewards will be in absolute terms, and that will depend on a lot of trading, etc. And they've got epochs 1 to 2. So I presume. So this is what I said about the epoch number here because it's got epoch 2941. So assuming this is epoch 1, right? Because it's 7 days. So that's what I'm guessing there. So that would be 50, 20, 25, 5. And then epoch 3 to 4, epoch 5 to 8, epoch 9 to 12. So these first 3 months seem pretty key here. Policy prioritizes early switch price discovery while preserving route depth and keeping stable participation active. USDC DAI in particular, switch USDC from launch. Weekly adjustments are bounded and KPI driven to avoid overcorrection, and bribe spend scales with treasury vote share dilution over time. So there's a treasury aware bribe budgeting as well. Epoch's 1 to 4, 200,000 switch per week. So there's a bit of a handout there. Looks like Switch gets 70% in the first week and then down less than 50%, maybe something like that. There's a few things there. Epoch free recycling, farming. Obviously, get into the farming stuff there. You can check all that out around farming. Let's see here. MEV recapture. You can get through all that too. MEV back. We'll go jump past all that. Profit distribution. Profits from MEV capture and distributed. Yeah, cool. I like that. Pulsechain integration. The MEV executor is configured Pulsechain factory addresses for both V1 and V2. Cool. Let's scroll down below that. Automated liquidity management. This is kind of some of the heart of the protocol, right? Is this automated liquidity manager and concentrated liquidity. So you can go through all that too. Where are we going? We're going to scroll down a bit further here. How are we doing? We're not doing too bad, guys. We're about 70% the way through, I think. They got a lot of rebalancing. This rebalancing, right? Pretty key. So you want to check that out if you're doing liquidity. Let's scroll down here. We're moving through Geekful, farming integration, TWAP manipulation. So got that too. 30 seconds, 24 hours. Security model. Let's see what else there. Scroll down past all that. Upgradability. Sorry, I'm moving around there. Critical upgrade contracts. That's cool. So upgradability there. Additional safeguards. Let's scroll down past this. Governance decentralized roadmap at launch. The deployer's address holds admin keys for operational agility. Take note of that. During the bootstrapping phase, the protocol follows a deliberate three-phased decentralization path. So obviously centralized moving to decentralized. Launch 0 to 4 weeks, so the first 4 weeks. The deployer retains direct ownership of upgradable contracts to ensure rapid response to any issues. Very important that. Phase 2, time lock transfer, post-stabilization. Once protocol is operating smoothly, ownership of all governed contracts, both upgradable and immutable with admin functions, is transferred to Switch time lock and Open Zeppelin time lock controller with considerable minimum delay. So that's cool. And then phase 3, community governance. Proposer and executor roles in the time lock are transitioned to the community multisig or on-chain governance model, completing the path of deployer control to community government. That's important there. Obviously, there's a lot of risks around smart contract. We went through those in permanent loss, normal, and then a lot of the normal risks we're used to there. What sets a SwitchX apart, which I think is kind of a cool place to wrap up, isn't it? We've got an hour and 22 minutes on it, so we're almost down at the end there. Fundamental difference, fixed supply versus perpetual inflation. Every major V3 protocol to date, Solidity, Velodrome, Aerodrome, Thena, Equalizer, shares a common structural weakness. That is perpetual token inflation with no supply cap. Governance locks in these systems are a treadmill, high initial percentages that dilute indefinitely as supply expands. That is true. Consider the reality there. So that's in there for those ones. SwitchX, of course, government lock at launch, 1.5% of 1 billion. Velodrome there, 34%, 9% of the supply, which is a smaller supply. Supply model, no cap. Hard cap, emissions in 2.5 years. That's for a Velodrome, Aerodrome. Government lock today, 7%, 25%, grows over time, supply contracts there. So there we go. SwitchX inverts this dynamic entirely because supply is hard capped and actively contracts through burn mechanisms. Government's power strengthens over time rather than diluting. The 15 million burn lock for 1.5% of max supply is permanently removed from circulation, and as an early exit penalties burn additional tokens, the burn lock share of remaining supply increases. There we go. This is why SwitchX does not need anti-dilution bases. This is no perpetual dilution to protect against. System is designed so that doing nothing, simply holding a burn lock, makes you relatively stronger over time, not weaker. So a lot of people will like that. Do nothing mode. So that is kind of cool. That is in play there. What else there? Token supply, hard cap, then 0 tokens forever. Supply directory, actively contracting. Obviously, buy burn locks, early exit burns, reducing total supply. Anti-dilution release, not needed. Lock types, burn locks, truly irrevocable. Tokens are burned. Early exit, penalty based on 3 curve options, 10 to 100%. What else have we got? 50% of permanently burned 50% of for exit burns there. Fee processing 50% automatically switch buyback, 50% pass through. Every swap generates native token demand. We like that. I like that. So obviously, if it's turning over a lot of volume, if it's doing at least a minimum couple 100,000 a day, that'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Fees distribute drip based. Farm rewards 59% auto lock for 2 years. 3 tiers native 50%, non-native 75%, vampire 90%. MEV recapture, MEV protection, LVR protection, cross-dex Oracle fee captures, community fee 2 tiers, 5% defaults. 75% off voting wheels, swap fees, tiered volatility adaptive fees, 0.2 to 0.3%. If you're wondering what the base fee is there, was it 0.29% for Pulsechain? MEV surcharge, surcharge there, liquidity management, automated ALM pool vaults there, rather than just manual positions with TRAP rebalancing. So that's probably going to be very attractive to a lot of LP providers. All right, post-emission sustainability funded fee buybacks, community farming top-ups, and zero inflation. There we go. And that is the SwitchX revenue flow. So burn locks reduce supply, auto lock compounds governments, fee buybacks buy pressure on switch, early exit burn supply reduction and voter rewards, higher voting power, more fee revenue, more emissions directed to productive pools, higher TVL and volume, and more fees collected, and then rinse and repeat there. Kind of cool. All right, terminal missions, the end game. It sounds like a movie, doesn't it? After 2.5 years, Switch reaches a fundamental different equilibrium than any perpetual mission protocol, and of course that means increased ownership and less tokens around with the buy and burns, etc. So kind of cool. You can read all that sort of stuff there. I think we've gone through quite a few of those. Got a lot of the math. So total cap there, 1 billion pre-mint 30. They've already burnt 15. Got 15 left, plus that 500,000 of that's been burnt or more. The emission rate there, so 19 switch per second, or 1.6 million switch per day. So that's additional tokens coming out. So we start with 15 essentially. People are burning them, and then we're getting these rewards, I guess, flowing through. That will drop by half to 1,800 in year 2, and then in the last 6 months down to 400,000, and then there'll be no more after that, after 912 days. So TikTok, we're going to be counting down another countdown, just like we did with the Pulsechain. We were up to 1,094 days or something like that. Treasury share 10% of all emissions. Very nice there for the Treasury. And that is some of the cool math. So you can go into the math there. We're almost at the bottom, aren't we? I think we're almost at the bottom here. Governance power timeline there. You got that too. V power 30 million. Yeah, because they burn 15 million permanent lock for the Treasury. And so they get 30, they get 2x, right? V power. So the Treasury kicks off with 30 million. Pretty nice there. And that's the increase there over the months as well. So they're going to get boosted, I guess, boosted there with the Treasury there. Hopefully it'll be public good there. After emissions end, the circulating supply switch can only decrease through burn locks, early exit penalties, and fee buybacks. So a powerful combination there. Assuming a conservative post-emission activity, 5% circulating supply burned via burn locks per year. That's kind of a key metric. 1% of circulating supply burned via exit penalties per year, and fee buybacks create consistent lock demand. So there we go. The result is a deflationary token with increasing scarcity over time, the opposite trajectory of perpetual emissions there. And of course, if you assume a ongoing concern for the DEX and it becomes one of the top DEXs turning over 100,000, that should be a good cash cow at an increasing rate. So it's going to play there. There's all the contracts, smart contracts, all here. Never fear. Look at them all. Beautiful list there. Key parameters as well. Check all that out. I'm not sure if any of those follow on. Let's scroll down. Audits. Everyone loves audits. Put it up your hand if you like audits. We've got audits there. Spywolf and 33 audits. So they've got audits there. You can go through that as well. All reports are available as well. We know that Brandon always loves doing the audits, which is, hats off to him. Underlying Uniswap V3, V4 engine audits covering core AMM plugins. So they've already got the underlying ones as well. And then prior art there as well. So they've got the other versions out there as well. All right, so not bad. Did you guys enjoy that? I don't know. Was that cool? But you can find that. That is the white paper. And that is at the bottom of the page. You can go to docs, and that's where that is. An hour and 30 minutes. Did we do it perfectly or what? Is it the perfect time or what? Let's go do one more refresh and let's see here. So that is Brandon. Brandon, well done, mate. Another great product there as well. Hey, we got a repost there. Appreciate that, Brandon. So that is kind of cool. Let's jump into the site here. Let's do a refresh and go through that. We will come back and have probably a deeper dive into some of the LP pools and that on another day. But this was kind of a comprehensive overview, exploration/exploration. All right, so that is you can earn. You can obviously buy and sell. You can earn, and you got your main two switch pools. At the moment, let's do a refresh of the page just to make sure the greatest. So it's only been going a few hours. We've already got $862 in fees, 117,000 in volume, and then we've got 150K in TVL right now. And remember, if we compare that to the current price sitting there as well, we've got market cap 245. We compare that to 9mm, which is, because we're trying to say, when it gets a certain amount of volume, what sort of drivers? Well, that's at 400K right now. So we're only just started, so presumably it's going to hit that over the next 24 hours, and then it's just about other teams plugging in promotions and obviously the network influence of Brandon and other people. It's kind of sort of a quick summary there, but it should show up here every day, right? It should show, instead of us just doing Pulsechain 9mm, we should be able to talk about SwitchX all the time from now on. So that'd be cool. And not only that, but Pulsechain is V2, 9mm V3, and then we got a V4 essentially here as well. So isn't that fantastic for Pulsechain generally? So awesome stuff, and very much focused on LP providers, liquidity providers, very important, and getting concentrated liquidity and optimizing those yields with automatic liquidity manager. Pretty awesome. The other thing, of course, is we're going to have one or two others coming up. We've obviously got the yield product coming up from Liberty Swap, so there'll be other players in the MAC. Pulsechain is becoming very exciting in the DeFi space, and that's going to be exciting too. All right, so kind of cool. Keep look out for that. It's going to be pretty neat. And obviously, people can provide LP earn that way, or they can become an owner in the platform. And if you're going to be an owner, you might as well spread the word as well, right? Might as well tell all your friends about it. Because it only benefits you. Only benefits you. All right, and you can also vote and direct rewards to the pools. So a lot of games afoot there from the big players, I'm sure, but little players too can win quite well. I would suggest moving forward. Now, the only thing that is that I did find hindrance is the where did we go? It's gone down here, but is the actual there were a couple of bots that picked up a few tokens at the beginning, and I think it was equivalent to a couple 100,000, maybe 200. So that's going to have to be absorbed. Probably, we see that a lot though. So that might have to flush out over a few days. So just take note of that. And that's it. That's pretty much it. So yeah, as we'll probably do another coverage coming up, and if we get any more insights, we'll try and pass that on to you as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. An hour and a half. Not bad. Not bad. Impressive. I think it's pretty impressive, and just another top blue chip protocol launched on Pulsechain. Man, this they just keep coming, and this is one of the big ones here from Brandon. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to always do your own due diligence. Nothing's financial advice, all that good stuff. But let's watch this. It's going to be great. I obviously do my daily show, so SwitchX is going to get free coverage because it's going to be on the list, right? It's going to be on the list. So there we go. That's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, that is the link to Switch official announcement. You can always check contracts, do your due diligence, go through the white paper. You can do all that sort of stuff. It's up to you ultimately, but exciting times for Pulsechain. V4 has arrived. Very cool. All right, take care. I'll catch you on the next show tomorrow. Enjoy, and look forward to any of your feedback and comments in the chats as well. And a big shout out to Brandon dropping another AAA product on the old Pulsechain. You got Switch, and you got SwitchX. So bring it on. Bye for now.